Hello again, people. Welcome back to the next part. We're currently on chapter 3. Last time we left off on this conversation. Uh, there was a fight, got the daily motive question. We're currently trying to figure out what the heck is going on. And it's chapter 3. And if you played any Dangarompa game, you know exactly what that means. Back to what we were talking about. What do we think the purpose of the Ultimate Prize and Preservation Project are as a whole? Missy, you said you wanted to involve yourself with this group. Can't you make heads or trails of this? I've been trying to make sense of this since we arrived. All I can say is perhaps we found ourselves in an elaborate trap. Heard Lyle mutter, "That's obvious," under his breath. Missy ignored him. Echo, I believe you may be able to recall what I said when you asked about Ultimate Students for the first time. Yeah, it was interesting what you said. What those individual groups or intuitions do with the students is beyond me. I've not heard many stories of success or failures from anyone who had the luxury of being accepted. Anyways, do not take utter shock in the title, is all I'm saying. What do you intend to do with those students? I mean, of course your talent would be highly coveted, but wouldn't the world be seeing constantly new developments and biological discoveries and technology? Excellent observation. We haven't seen those developments indeed. That is clear. As the ultimate students, we are the crux of the game extended. What do you mean? Who were singularly determined the fact that we had ultimate talents? Like the Preservation Project? And Echo, you didn't seem to have knowledge of the ultimate students or the Preservation Project at all prior to your existence thus so far. Huh? That's true. So, I ask, how did you become a participant here? We all willingly signed up to be brought here. I'm curious whether Echo persistent is descriptivity. We bet upon it. Seems clearly participant given the circumstance. That much is clear. In that case, I believe it's uniquely blessing with a particularity of Echo's presence that could lead us to our situation. Missy thought hard. I need more information. I have an idea on what potentially fetch the knowledge I seek. Say? You know what? The reason for all this? Why is it so hard to figure it out? It's all meant to be under comprehension and compatibilities, isn't it? Why not just go along with the game instead of fighting it? What? What are you saying? Suddenly, a rumbling shook through the dining hall. It sounds like it was coming from the foyer. We darted out of the dining hall to investigate. No way. Isn't that the door that shocked me in episode 2? The previous infiltration main foyer doors opened. We're on the 5 days and there's still 5 of you. There's only 5? That's impossible. Voice credit. Wasn't there 10? 9, 8, 7, 6. Yeah, there should still only be 6. Test your strength. Explore the doors beyond as a group. Split up. Do nothing. Okay, hang on. Is what he said was right? I'm pretty sure there's 6. Dead, dead. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dead. 5, 6. Dead. Yeah, there's 6. 0, you lied. Your strength in numbers. Can you remain a group in spirit as you wander the mysterious halls? Yes, the door once thought was your only way out of here has been thrown ajar. There's never really been an exit. You all just assume so. How silly is that? And, oh, what's this? Facing the opposite doors, the elevator indicates showing a new floor is available to us in the courtroom. I'll even let you all take a little detour on the courtroom. Find all the secrets to wretch this place. You can't bear to face them. Yes, the game will go on regardless, however you recite. We've all fixated on grasping dark hole that lay before the previously dangerous door. Okay, so how the heck did we get into this place? There's always an entrance. And if that wasn't our entrance, then how the hell did we get in here? Do they just throw us in here and then build a wall? Zero is challenging us to cover secrets of our captivity, so I'll be infiltrating Cyrus's room. He had knowledge of mine and Ashley's connections. It's likely he had access to much more information. What? But the mysterious that kept us open, that could be information further in the building too. Lyle pulled out the secret note he'd been holding onto since discovering the second day. This note has to mean something. It's clear Zero represents one of the symbols and has shown himself in the courtroom so to be the same he said as about Eve's symbol. Whoever's operating the announcement, Eve or Zero, has to be somewhere beyond the doors. It would be obvious for Zero to be hiding in the courtroom. What if it's simply an artificial intelligence behind the two personalities? Then we're searching for something irrerangeable and scripted to run the game that won't relieve the overall secrets beyond the walls. Cyrus knew something about the project as a whole. That kind of information can't be denied at a time like this. Lyle, Missy, please. Arguing again isn't going to solve anything. Agreed, I hate to suggest it, but perhaps the opportunity is the fourth motive question presenting itself as a testable way. That's what I was thinking. If we recall, day 3, in addition to the motive of distress, music was implemented at 4 p.m. We all split up and investigate until 4 p.m. We'll rediscover and exchange information while bracing ourselves for whatever Zero has in store for us. In that case, I'll volunteer to the unknown. If anything goes wrong here, you can bet I'll be the one to puzzle together truths in the aftermath. Lyle stands squarely before facing the dim hole within the open doorway. I suppose it is our best option. It's not the wisest thing to do given our small group, but it would give us an edge in discovering secrets of our warehouse. Missy nodded as she made her decision with the main wig. There are 6 of us. Therefore, we ought to divide into groups of 3 so we can keep an eye on each other for a respective area. Okay, so one of us is definitely controlling. That's much as obvious. 2 is Forte's dying. He is like the last filler character left, I'm pretty sure. So Forte's definitely not the option, and if he's still alive after this trial, then probably him. I don't think it's Missy or Lyle. It might be Say. I think Say might be the mastermind. Breaking off to 3 pairs is out of the question. Kanon, you're coming with me. Makes you think I want to go with you. As much as I'd miss your awful companion if you didn't come, you won't let go of your camera, and I think it might be a touch of use going down. Kanon rolled her eyes and didn't object further. I'll join Missy, worry not, I shall let anything go wrong. Besides, I trust Kanon to keep an eye on things for me. Sure, you do. Split up on investigating between beyond the foyer doors main wig. With only myself and Say remaining, I looked to see what the group go with. Say remained still. I guess she was waiting for me to make my first choice. I wonder what everyone else was expecting to find from this. I mean, might as well just get it out of the way. Or Say, did you have any preferences? No, I'll go with whoever. I don't care. You pick. Okay. So whatever group I decide to go with, Say will likely join. Let's go Forte. What do you think you'll find? Who could say? I certainly don't know what to expect, but I'll do my best to assist Missy in her endeavors. Oh, I see. I'm not sure what I could offer to the investigation. Half a memorable experience in the overall scheme. Don't fret, you can lend a hand. Keep in mind, simply the impact we have on each other people. Very important to each other. I am sorry for my bad Scottish accent. I am now realizing that must be really annoying. Are you having trouble? Are you having trouble deciding? A little. I'm mostly worried that something bad might happen. It's perfectly normal to feel fear. It means you're still human. Your senses have addicted to the awful environment. Echo, hurry up, will you? I know, I need some time to think. The worst action is in inaction. We have to dig up this miserable place secret. If Lyle was a patient, wasn't paper thin, I would just applied a hydraulic press atop it with my decisions. I approached Kanon wanting to apologize for what happened yesterday. I didn't quite know what to say. Kanon didn't lift her eyes. Echo, hustle! Please, Echo, this is time to send. Continue to stay silent. Come on! You all, I'm being very generous right now. You don't want your opportunity to go to waste, do you? What? Time to waste. Are we gonna get split up? Zero's taunting voice rung through the halls once more, been cackling through the speakers. This feels like an important choice. Perhaps I should think carefully. Oh, you think I'm gonna think about this? You think I'm going to think about this? Obviously, I'm joining the door. I'll go with Lyle and Kanon. It was decided. Join Lyle and Kanon near the foyer. Say, join Missy and Forte on the other side of the table. And that's that. We'll investigate to our fullest abilities and here before 4 p.m. Is that alright with you, Lyle? Yes, ma'am. Lyle had begun walking past the door she had asked. Kanon silently matched his pace. I helped East to keep up. We stepped through the doorway into the darkness. My eyes adjusted to the dim lighting as we were quickly met with stairs that down a dark length. Not a single word was exchanged between the three of us as we trudged down steps further away from the foyer's gaining hall. An anxious feeling rose in my stomach as I glanced back at the dining hall, the only other group that was already outside. After some time, we foreign floor beneath us revealed to the bottom of the stairs. The hidden floor we gained access to in the steer contrast to preserved floors, the lighting was dim. The walls stark and cool, regardless, it remained decorated with delicate gold furnishing and a similar service to Noisk. An elevator hall was divided to the room with 2 equal halves, similar to the main floor. Hey, it looks like we can take this elevator back up to the main wing, huh? Probably. What's the use of going back now? We made a decision to split up and we need to investigate. Look for an exit. Did that really need to be said? Lyle instructed the two of us, but before anyone could get any far, we could hear the unfortunate now speaking crackle. So you all decided to split up, huh? That's alright, no sweat. Off my back, figuratively speaking, of course. Thanks to your fancy bracelets, I can still locate where you are. There's no escaping for you quite yet. Anyways, I have a very special big motive for you all later. How about some fun little gifts? Now for everyone, mind you, these will be for Kanon and Missy, respectively at the nearest guys. Grab it if you want to leave it for someone else. Stumble upon it, I don't care. At this point, whatever you do is meaningless anyways. I wasn't sure if it was just me, but it felt like Zero's tone was different. I'll check back in with you folks later. Enjoy your investigation. Now I'm thinking about it, I'm doing more of a Bill voice than a Monocum. Whatever. The announcement ended. Lyle went off to the foyer in Noisk of vacation. Kanon investigate herself between Lyle and Noisk. Not so fast. There's no way of letting you see whatever that messed up shit is. But we know it's gonna be bad. Everything in this place has been nothing but bad, genius. What makes you think this is any of your business anyways? Lyle rolled his eyes, left Kanon in relatively peace, going about his way to search for an exit. Stood in curiosity at the noise, printed a small sheet, blank face up. Kanon rasped the sheet of our receivables, but stuffs in it pocket without a glance. I won't fall for any motives if you don't look at the zeros trying to tease me with it, right? I guess so. Let's see. Here's a map of our current floor. Doesn't look like there's much here. What the fuck is that? 2 long halls paralleled each other from opposite doors to the room. Towards the back, opposite of the stairs, were 2 larger rooms, only the trophy room and the other. So we got the trophy room, and the multiple-purpose hall. That's where we came. There's an elevator back up. What is this? What the other room is redacted? Even so. We're only here anyway. What's the point of the room just to see what it is? Stepped away from the noise to explore the underground floor. As we passed the two sides of the hall, I took the piece. They were listening multiple-purpose event halls, decorated to list the gathering. A large room was separately decorated with a number of tables and chairs, not much else. The event halls were pretty, but much of the building, they lacked any sort of quality of life. Kid and I wandered about, but not for very long. Nonetheless, gaining strange caught our attention. It was if this place was never meant to be anything more than the entire time we explored, Kanon kept a safe distance from me as I pondered when the best time to make amends. Lyle was waiting for us back where we started. About time you lot caught up. What did you expect? You didn't demand we all travel glued at the hip. Hey now. Two glared at each other, a palpable tension between the air. So, did you find any signs of the exit? No. The whole way behind me just goes to the shattered elevator, not a single exit in sight. But I haven't looked in either of the rooms yet. One of the rooms is listed as the trophy room, the other is strangely redacted. And let's check out the redaction one. My interest is piqued. Three of us approach the unlisted room. There was a small nameplate on the door, but it was stretched out. Laser engraving lost underneath the messy hackling. Of course, the name is conveniently scratched away. Lyle rattled the doorknob, but was locked out of entry behind an active keypad. See? Nothing but that. The keypad indicator was red, waiting for a 6-digit code to insert the door. Okay. Y'all know anything about codes? Everyone thinks the most common code is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so on. But really, you go backwards. So obviously the code's going to be 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right? Right? What's wrong with the keypad? Oh, should I know? Well, you disabled the trap in the main foyer, didn't you? That's because there was a hidden panel on the wall in the main foyer. Just turned it off, nothing fancy. Is this any different? Keypad is plenty different. If we input X code, it's likely it'll shut us out permanent. Lyle struggled detectively. Unless we find a code, I suggest we leave the store alone until we're certain something works. Why don't we check the trophy room? Maybe we can find some clues in there? Lyle grumbled, but started towards the trophy room on the other side. I highly doubt it would be convenient to find the code, but there's nothing left to lose. Upon entering the trophy room, we were greeted with... Is that a bear? It's not alive, it's a taxidermy bear. Yeah, I don't think they would have real animals like this. Nearly toppled backwards at the sight. The room was filled with unmoving animals posed in most intimidating predatory states. Lyle and Kanon drifted in, I gulped and slipped in. Inside, there were a display of smaller animals, foxes, rabbits, squirrels. Even towards the back of the room, there were hunting weapons, crossbows, rifles, hatchets. I'm glad this room was hidden from the start. I muttered the observation to myself, but it didn't give me much comfort. Even though the large section of weapons was indetectable, danger still managed to find its way through. So I'm assuming we could use those at any time. Gotta keep that in mind. I sighed and continued my search for the code, or sign of an exit. What felt like an eternity has passed. We turned the room upside down, looked for hints, clues for the keypad, or otherwise, but all came up empty-handed. Sat down on the lounge chairs, took a belt, searching to no avail. Only proved the load more exhausted on my already tense shoulders. What now? I mumbled to myself as Lyle and Kanon more just as aimlessly idolizing the trophy room, their empty eyes falling to the malicious decor. A crackling of static in the air struck the brief response we found ourselves in, reminding us that we were still in the mid-set of a killing game competed to Shroud. Hey, just checking in with y'all. Have fun exploring new decks. I bet you are. I've two more fun little gifts for you folks. Forte and Say. Dear Salamange, for the former of the latter. Nothing. What is that background music? You're kind of insignificant, so such gifts to the person, yeah? Enjoy this weird tune if you can. It's all German, so it's nonsense to me. Oh, it's for Forte. Zero's voice dropped out of tune, carried on softly. A gentle, haunting piano accompanied the drone's gentle vocals. I couldn't comprehend what was being said, but the atmosphere the song created was unnerving. Wait, both of the gifts were dedicated to Forte and Say, but they're in a group together. Missy and Kanon were given individual. Zero even said that it didn't matter that we split into groups. So, Lyle's voice came across the room and startled me. So nothing. I was just wondering out loud. Why is that the case? It's more likely that he knows something we don't. Well, I hope they're okay then. All three of them receiving something strange is kind of worrisome. Trailed off, watching Lyle piece recklessly up and down the room. I wasn't sure if silence between us, but it sounded like the music was getting louder. Lyle came to a stop in the center of the room. He stuffed his hands in his pockets, saying, "Damn it, this is ridiculous." Zero commanded we test our strengths by opening that stupid door so we can make a mess of the trophy room. This whole game, it just reeks of anarchy. Nothing is connecting. Nothing makes sense. Being in a killing game isn't some puzzle where jigsaw all the pieces together. I don't think there's any sense in it unless you were some twisted set in it. There has to be a reason for this, to put us all together just to quickly tear us apart. For something as malicious as this game, reasons got enough a long time ago. You're talking like you're not a part of this. I've been trying myself best to involve myself, period. But you are evolved. If you're inexplicably unavoidable, invisibly a part of this game. Hang on. Did I miss the line? No, you don't get to say you're not a part of this game. Weren't you the one who had conclusive proof of the first killer? Didn't you push the last round forward by realizing Echo hasn't seen any important message? What makes you think you can't pick and choose what you want to participate in? How can you be so cold and unfeeling about all this? You can't have any good reason to constantly be turning your back in all this treachery when you are completely steeped in the involvement. Kanon was dumbfounded. Shut up, Lyle! Kanon was shaken. At this point, the music had grown, an echoing drone, the murmur of the piano, key-striking, something fearful in my heart. Lyle and I stepped back. The tension in the air was heavy as Kanon biting glare caught all of the attention. Who do you think you are? Kanon's voice was low growl. Her eyes were mixed with stiffening, chilling torment. Kanon. I tried to shake something out, anything to her, to quench her invisibly fury, but my throat was dry. She darted toward the stairs at the end of the room, and the lights went out. What? Ah! Lyle? His voice cried out with agony. I tried to follow the voice, but it was pitch black. I couldn't see a thing and lost my footing in the rich darkness. What's going on? Static popped out in the speaker, but before the announcement was made. I feel my back splitting into two. A fiery pain unlike the other tore my skin, dug through my muscles, and split my bone. Fumbled to the ground, my limbs falling to catch the descent. Kanon. My body fell limp and unconscious escaped me. Okay, so we just Wow. Wow. Hang on. How much 20 Wow. That I'm sorry. I'm just in shock. Okay, so I'm back here. We're saving. I am still in genuine disbelief. Eh, I'll go with Missy and Forte. It was decided. Join Missy and Forte on the opposite side of the center glass table. Say join Lyle and Kanon up near the foyer. And that's that. We'll investigate our fullest abilities to the nevers here before 4 p.m. That's alright with you, Lyle. Man, I'm still just... I wish I could see my facial expression from that, because I was just so in shock. Lyle had already begun walking past the doors before she asked. Kanon slipped martially in his pace. Say continued to catch up. As the three faded out of sight, I immediately began to feel uneasy. Is this okay splitting up? Come on now, Echo. Choice has been made. The genuine consequences was that we would have to split up eventually. We wanted to comb the building out in a timely manner. Yeah, sorry. I'm just a little worried. I couldn't shake the remnant hostility between Lyle and Kanon's argument this morning. There was a crackle of static before Zero starting speaking again. So y'all decided to split up, huh? That's alright. No sweat off. But Zero's energy... yeah, I'm just skipping that part because, yeah. What is it? Don't feel any pressure to share, it's unpleasant. To be frank, it's only expected unpleasant. Missy tore the small sheet of the print feed and flipped it around, as if it was behaving to her a gift wasn't enough. I have to remind this game's treachery. Who is that? Showed us the front face of the sheep, photographing of Darling drenched in blood. A mocking picture of her death. Missy spat out the words, and Forte and I took a quick look before turning our gaze away at the horrific sight. Is it It's truly despicable! Missy and Forte lingered before the picture within the pocket. We really must get to the bottom of the treachery. I'm revolted by how comprehensively this game treated lives. Missy turned down the living quarters hall to turn to Cyrus's room. Didn't occur that we would meet until we arrived at the door this time. We don't have a way in, do we? What do you mean? The door... Isn't the door locked? Desperate times call for desperate measures, don't you think? Missy undrew Darling's dagger and swiftly struck the doorknob. I didn't expect to have Cyrus' ID bracelet now, do I? I guess not? Missy unexpectedly the bore hole previously occurred by the doorknob and inserted the dagger, pulling the latch away from the jamb until the door clicked open. And there we are. Do you think this would be against the rules? It was inexplicably stated, however, if it were, I'd deal with the fallout in the courtroom. Missy was previously stated. She opened the door and marched straight in. Terribly sorry for the intrusion, Forte slipped, and I railed with them. I am curious about what these symbols are. Cyrus's room had a little deafening feature, similar to mine. Forte and Ashley and Stein. The only thing set apart was the set of meant biofloaters. But I set a table. It was only a hunch, but it seems I was right in presuming Cyrus had information about us. Missy fanned the folders across the bed and began her search. Here, grab a folder and see if you can find anything interesting about our situation. Forte helped himself to a folder and glanced at the first few pages before sitting himself in a spare chair. Are we looking for anything specific? Anything at all, honestly. The more we know, the better. Picked up a folder at the bottom of the pile and spat legs on the floor and opened the file. I found floor plans for the building. There are some generic blueprint diagrams, nothing I could really make sense of. Not that they looked much different from the maps displayed on the noise. The only thing different was a sheet of stained with blood in the corner. Among the blueprints was a small booklet. The title reads Floor Plans Game L on the inside of the page. 5 floors were listed on the index. Wait, 5 floors? From the top we have... Spectral Trial Grounds Infirmary. What number is that? I know that's 0. That's definitely not 1. I don't know Roman numerals! That's not 5. I think that's 6. Wait. Spa Lounge Center. Living Dining Hall Theaters. Conspiracy Room. Yeah, 6, 7, 8. No, wait. Is it 7? No. The last 4 listed 2... So Lyle and Kanon say are probably visiting the trophy room on the floor below us. I started through the booklet and found basic information we had already known. All the floors have noise to communicate. Bracelets are used for identification. Active hours are from. Nothing new yet. I flipped back to the door looking for details about the 5th floor. Okay. However, when I arrived towards the final pages, I noted they were torn out. What remained on the pages stuck out from the messy tear, crumbled. Of course, the details of the floor beneath us are conveniently gone. I stared at the back panel and noticed something odd. They seemed to have an imprint of nothing pressed into the back panel. It was barely visible, but at the right light, I could just make it out. 2511... That's the fucking keypad digit, isn't it? Okay, I was wrong. It wasn't 654321. Why would it be 654321? I didn't think that. You thought that. You're stupid. Shut up. I'm sorry. These numbers might have been important, seeing the pages before it was turned out. Or they could have been a mistake. That was why the pages were removed. Have you two have anything to share? Snapped out on my connections. Oh yeah, I found floor plans to show a floor below ours that looks like... From the looks of it, Kanon say went down to the trophy room. Trophy room. That does sound to be too promising. Well, there seems to be another room, but it crossed out, so I couldn't figure out what else is there. Also, take a look at this. There are some numbers that are barely visible here. Showed missing the impression of the numbers on the back panel. What do you suppose these 6 digits could mean? A code, perhaps? But I don't recall any sort of code located door on the facility. And it looks like the code is meant to be used in the area. Right, that being said, let's finish our investigation before we visit them. When we rejoin, we'll all see what discovered they have report, whether or not the code is there after all. I noted and made a point to memorize the numbers before sending the booklet aside. Forte, did you find anything of note? I came across our class droids that are anonymously studying student profiles about each one of us. Student profiles? Find anything about me? Still wondering why exactly I was involved in the game, since I didn't explicitly have a given ultimate talent. I've exhausted the file on hand and I didn't see your name anywhere. Oh, I see. I'm terribly sorry. I understand it must be bothersome to be here in an unexpected hour. It's not your fault, Forte. I guess it's just coincidence. Although I did come across something useful. These student profiles have an amazing amount of background details. Important figures, significant others, fears others misguidedly. But other than Cyrus has a pristine background involvement with the game. So all of us are present just to be victims of this coincidence. It seems statistically inapprovable given rare Okay, everything I've said before the bad ending, throw it out the window. Just throw it out the window. Yeah, no, how should I explain it? To start, we are all aware the minimum requirement to come here was to be an ultimate student that received a letter or recognized from the preservation project. So they have accepted the offer for protection. There is a period of time between sending the letter back and I suppose being whisked to the secret location. It seems like a time period. There was some method of creating the class. Classes were to be composed of pairs of ultimate students. These students These pairs of ultimate students would have to be two people who were significantly involved in one way or another. For example, one of the folks we did from the day, Art and Lyle, were apparently considered to be close enough for pairing off. Though it appears the roster would have did a few other students would have formed pairs, but others, only one can assume Cyrus himself came across students that are absent. However, there are two students that aren't crossed with each may require inspection. Well, it would be best if you saw for yourself. Forte revealed a roster of students with names and talents. Zero? 4. Okay, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So there's 15 of us. 4 are dead. 1's just 0. There are 15 profiles shooting Ross. I didn't have to count. 1 next to Cyrus was clipped out, and 5 were crossed away from dark ink, bringing the total student profile visible to us 11. However, I wasn't on the roster, so it would have been brought the number down to 9 since I was excluded. Oh! Particular, as you noted, there are 2 extra students we have yet to encounter. Yes, they are being associated with Say and Pandora from the looks of it. Does that mean they also have ultimate students? That is indeed the case. There are lists of ultimate radio host and ultimate cartographer, Hito Quartz and Gresp is Spray, respectively. Spray. Hang on. Where is she? Where is she? Where is she? Where is she? Huh. Gara Espray. Let's have a closer look at these 2 students. Missy decides and places student profiles down. Ahito Quartz and Gara Espray. Ahito Quartz looks like 0. His clothing, his hair were different colors, but his actual features were the same. And Gerda Espray looked awfully similar to Pandora, even more deaning their school semblance depicted along with their profile pictures. That dude is definitely related to Pandora. But one thing's for certain, it's clear to us that Zero's true identity is Ahito Quartz. And we can certainly put a face to the secondary mystery announced the name Eve. It seems Pandora must have known that she was letting on, seeing as her true identity Eve appears to be her very own sibling. Oh, that's Eve! That being said, the students associated revealed it could only mean Say knowing Ahito has some sort of further involvement with the game. I'm just genuinely lost at this point. Am I right? Am I wrong? There's no doubt Say must have been the mole they were seeking. My head was spinning. Were we being fooled from the start? 2 people from the Inside Connection had 2 entities administered into the game. Shouldn't we confront Say now that we know she might be up to something? Doing so would prove dangerous. I would like to watch her movement to see what she's thinking. As far as she's aware, she doesn't know we're onto her. It seems difficult to determine what's going on in her mind. She speaks so little. Then, should we check out Pandora's room? She might have something hidden there since she was also part of that. Excellent idea. I'd still like to look over the rest of the files if you don't mind. I'll go with you, Echo. I'm curious to know about Art's notable gift was if you would like to make a detour. I nodded and approached the exit. Oh, just a minute. Oh yeah, the dagger. We're probably gonna need that. Missy gave the dagger to Forte. You can use the dagger to knock the doorknob off like I did earlier. On second thought, I don't know if I want to leave you alone like this. I'll be fine. So if it's gun on my person, I don't want to resort to firing it. But seeing our situation is becoming more consent, it may not be a choice. I felt a shiver up my spine. Missy was taking the situation much more seriously with a chilling, unfeeling demeanor. Understood. We'll make haste in our investigation and return promptly. Forte and I stepped out of Cyrus's room and we walked to the opposite hall to Art's room. There, Forte stuck the doorknob, pulled back the latch, and opened the door. The only thing inside Art's room was a worn-looking golf bag, the leather bag modded with Camparnian name. Oh, this must have belonged to his grandfather. Art has been reminding him of his past time golfing with him. It must have been distressed to see him this awakening, to say the least. Forte let out a heavy sigh. It's unfortunate, but explains his reaction to Pandora's question. Not all knowing she might be involved. Do you think she goaded him on? That would be quite the masochist, wouldn't it? All to what? Benefit all she felt by his hand. That's true. Forte paused. Do you believe the flap of a butterfly's wings could cause a hurricane? A little thing like the butterfly creating a disaster sounds impossible. It's a theory. Minutes occurrence within similar initial coordinates can lead to to different outcomes. The situation could very well be one of those drastic outcomes. Are you speculating that Pandora set the entire scenario off by proposing the incesty of the first murder? Who can say that was her intention? Besides, her interactions were never of ill will, were they? She was kind to everyone, so who's to say perhaps the flap of the butterfly's wings caused a storm that would eventually give the way to the shining rainbow to grace our skies? That's a pretty optimistic outlook. Looking for the eventual repose of this nightmare is all we have, isn't it? Eventual repose. I can only hope something like that would set us free from the trapping of the storm. Though, we should wait for something minuscule and come out of control like the winds dedicated to our fate. I'm keen on taking such matters into my own hands if needed be. I'm not sure I would know where to begin with such an endeavor. Well, that's neither here nor there at the moment. Shall we move to Pandora's room? Yeah, let's check that out. We left Art's room and visited the living quarters on the other side of the foyer. Entering Pandora's room felt the same fashion once again. Forte and I just came upon yet another non-spectac personal room. Only this time there was nothing to be found in her room. Huh? Did Pandora not receive some kind of room gift? Perhaps she was involved, there was no need. But Zay has one, a creeping one at that. Yes, an ominous skull and bones loot. Two peeked to the dresser, was greeted by nothing but Terry, Mycelian? Wait, what if she was doing, what was she doing when Kanon did? Kanon said she revealed the instant camera, right? And she's been claiming that basically since the beginning of this whole project. It certainly wouldn't be out of the question. Do you resolve anything Pandora might have had that would ground for suspicion? Yeah. Secret note. Showed it to me just before nighttime on day 2. At first, I thought it was something was fishy. Then maybe she was hiding something, but pressed my fingers onto my temple. I don't know. Pandora ended up suffering, and the note fell into Lyle's hands. Maybe the secret note was her vexing gift, but she was some kind of double agent. Why would she nonchalantly share the note with me? Who could say? I sighed. The more we know was better. I couldn't help but think the opposite. As we dug up more information, the more confused I became. I could only hope whatever Lyle, Kanon, and Say found was the answer to the question, but at the same time, I was afraid to uncover more of these secrets. Let us return to Missy with our findings. Turning to Cyrus's room once more, Forte and I found Missy in a deep concentration. Welcome back. Did you two find anything interesting? Artist Late's grandfather golf club in his room, and Pandora had nothing. Nothing? Echo speculate that perhaps the secret note mentioned in the first trial may be Pandora's room gift. In the same fashion, Kanon took the camera. The room was empty. She probably kept the note on her person for safekeeping or something, but whenever she left the pantry on the third day, Lyle had been holding on to it ever since. We'll have to take a closer look at it when we reconfirmation with Lyle. Missy turned to her intense glowing of the mess of documents. Anything new here? Starting about the news, yes. Take a seat. Forte and I sat in spare chairs and gave Missy her full attention. Lord Drop! What's happening? She sat in a momentary silence at a piercing glazing purification of folders. I've been reading a history of involvement. The involvement of ultimate students in a killing game, just like this one. Killing games, plural, as in multiple? Yes, I know it's startling to say the least. In that case, that reminds me, in the folder I looked at, our game was labeled Game L. What do you think L means in terms of these multiple games? I believe the context L is in the Roman numeral for 50, so the game is our 50th game. Is this the fucking 50? Okay. Spoiler for the mainline Dangarompa V3 ending. There's 53 killing games. So is this canonically in there at some point? 50 games? Oh, definite number to help enumerate how long this game has been occurring. Let's see. 59 games have taken place over a span of approximately 7 days at most, with no breaks between each game. That's 343 days, almost a year's worth of hell. I don't understand. I believe that correct. I remember hearing about the Preservation Project late my junior year. Why so many games, you may ask? These games are to help Ultimate students in mind. Ultimate students would be prime subjects for recreating tests and scenarios and battling to the best of their ability. To overcome the Ultimate students and come out on top, the best of these experiments would be determined to the future. The Preservation Project and the Killing Game, they're one and the same. It seems we aren't just one in a million occurrence. But why? My voice cracked. So this place, is it just some kind of portrait dish for creating an ultimate student that has no moral regard for what they're doing? The Preservation Project washed their hands off with concerns with mortality. It's clear in the document of history. What if it's fad created? All fake, want to stroke fear. It is very possible. Fear is a powerful tactic. Cyrus himself, after knowing all this, had very little room to operate. He was under a considerable amount of pressure. And eventually collapsed. I was shaking. Comprehension at the situation was the last thing on my mind. Fear chilled me to the bone. Missy, aren't you petrified? Aren't you afraid at all? I'm mortified, however. Knowing the darkness that lures in behind people's intentions, nothing new to me. Calling the individual person simply a constitution to strip humanity and members. It's nothing but numbers we play in live ammo. A game toying with the livelihood of widely talented students, enabling a battle royale to create a singular, albeit misdirection towards ultimate students. Missy exhaled sharply. This must end now. Missy stormed out of the room. Missy! Forte and I chased after her. Missy stood across at the elevator. She was enrolled in thought, her brow knit, her posture imposing. Are you in full possession of fatalities? You aren't the one changing forward like so. I'd say that I'm only a hunch, a little reliable, but a gut feeling. Lately, and I have nothing but just acting upon them. I have nothing except... She held up a pinned photography to the wall with a dagger. Nothing but a vengeful beginning for the established to the ground of a burning hell for all suffering it has put us through. It's so misguiding, so blindsided for thinking I wanted to be a part of the Preservation Project. I've been played for a fool. Missy, none of us could have known this would be our fate. It's possible that two must have known something from the start. Rather than confronting that one remains, we must attack the source. The elevator chimed and Missy stepped in. We're going to the courtroom. Only monitor elevator hummed in our ears. We traveled to the courtroom floor. We entered the dark circular room. One more. This was without explicit order to determine a culprit. It was quiet. The window was black. Zero was nowhere to be found. Missy swept in, looking for indication of announcement hall of residence. Forte and I flittered into the empty room harmlessly. I can't see with these windows. It should be early afternoon now, shouldn't it? Perhaps the shelters are covering the windows. If I recall correctly, they closed after trial. Tay ran hands across the wall, seeing us lay the foundation of massive files. Forte tried praying one of the sides open no avail. He knocked on the wall, restoring echo, bounced over the barrier. This empty space beyond the wall, it probably opens with one of the students being executed. Do you think Zero Operator is hiding with where executions take place? I gulped. It was not a sight I wanted to think about. I guess it would have to be too easy to visit the courtroom after Zero just to investigate the area. Missy stepped out of the elevator again. The infirmary has nothing of note either. Missy circled the courtroom stands once before, settling in an indescribable place. She leaned back and crossed her arms. A tense expression painted her face. Even if we found Zero, how are we gonna get information out of them? He must have known we broke into Cyrus' room, so he might be even more cautious. If I can get him to start talking, we're almost over halfway there. It's about running a conversation long enough to allow an opening. Whether a contradiction is unknown fact. The more he talks, the faster his opinion will diminish. That said, we've entered the most dangerous area with little to show for. I feel, though, as we've hit a dead end. It's possible Lyle, Kanon, and Zay has had better luck finding information on their search. Yeah, let's just glad it went this way, not the other way, right, guys? It's such fun hanging out with you. We can only hope that they'll turn up something of note. Three of us were steeped in a long, competitive silence. I sighed, thinking about the meeting with the others, wondering if they were just as licklish in finding anything of use. I thought about Kanon and remembered. Missy, do you still happen to have Kanon's photo, the one from last night? I know I said I didn't want it, but... Oh, certainly. I didn't have time to patch it together, though. Missy drew the two halves of the photo in the undercoat pocket. I lined the two halves together and gazed at the moment. It was time that quickly trash. That's okay, I really stole soft looks from Forte and Missy. They seemed to understood I felt remorse for what I had done. I want to return it. A body has been discovered! Okay, so that would have happened anyways. No. Oh dear. Quickly. So we know the outcome, right? Say's dead, Missy, not Missy. Say's dead, Kanon's the culprit. Foyer was lightly chimed. The door slid open after felt like eternity, and we were greeted with a bloodful sight. What?! Hatchet was buried deep in the back of Kanon's body, blood staining the pierced floor, the flesh liquid that resided upon the glory of creating a haunting glow in the middle of the foyer. Kanon! Damn it. Missy and Forte bolted the lift, where I remained silent in the elevator cab. A sickening metallic odor filled my senses. I felt a cold sweat from on my brow. Missy and Forte were huddled in the concern over Kanon's body. It was clear, no use. She was gone. But the body announcement, it said it was in the trophy room. Did that mean the announcement was rung for Lyle? Was Say really behind all this? Above Missy and Forte's I heard a strange sound. Dread proposed me. Missy, Forte. As the floor chandelier came crashing down, Missy and Forte. They were completely crushed by the chandelier, their bodies lost under the tons of glass shards. I could only muster a sound. I heard well shocked. Glass clattered the floor before me, the glistening liquid reflected on the marble floor, doubled in the interior of the mortal visionary. The nightmare Say brought to me was tumbling to the knees, dread odouring through every part of my body. My breath was falling out of pieces. My vision became blurry and red from panic. The elevator doors came automatically closed in hindsight. Sign of the three friends were brutally killed. A hand stopped the door. Ah! A sharp impact compressed my bones, cracks creaking through my system into the blazing pain. Something was sticking out of my shoulder. It looked like a bolt. The heat was from pain. The chill form of terror. Felt heavy and weak. I couldn't lift my eyes to see what attacked me. My whole body crumped without a fight. My head knocked into the door, causing me to stay and stared. Nothing. I did it right. That voice. Follow the rules of the stupid killing game, so please, please, please get me out of here. The ultimate prize is freedom, right? Say. Please, I know it's your voice, so listen to mine and help me. The ultimate prize! You don't want the prize. No, killing isn't the answer. What? Just say a remorseful cry, one could hear a pin drop. Feel my heart struggling, my adrenaline rose. Killing isn't the answer then. What were we doing here? This is wrong. It's all wrong. What was that? Come on, I'm being very generous right now. You don't want your opportunity to go to waste, yo. That's a wasting. Feels like an important choice. Perhaps you should think carefully. What? 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 We're gonna come back to this. I'm gonna end this episode here. What just happened?